Welcome, Melanie, from Pathway Teaching School of Shamanic Studies at pathwayteaching.com and the beautiful Rose Priestess.com website. Your practice is based in the Azores. Melanie is a qualified marine biologist and dive guide and spends her spare time swimming in the seas with octopus and aquatic creatures and water beings. Melanie has been gifted a water rose transmission from the spirits of the sea, which I think relates to a spiritual connection to the sea. Would you like to explain this to us? Thank you, Melanie.
Thanks a million for having me on today. It's an honor, and I feel very blessed to be able to serve in this way, and that's what I've asked for in my soul. And I feel, when you really want to do the work you came to do as a soul and you ask, it might not be the easiest path, but there's no doubt that it's the deepest and the most rewarding, even though you have to face every aspect of shadow in yourself. And essentially, the water rose began over many, many years. And I feel that the sea and the beings have been calling me for way longer than I realized. And essentially, if I was to break it down into its simplest form, it's an energy that comes through the heart. And of course, water is all about oneness. It's re-establishing that connection back to the sacred God, goddess self, if you want to call it that. And the rose is the symbol of the sacred feminine. And essentially, most of the symbols, if all the symbols, have been given underwater, but then confirmed in dream time and intuition. And without going into my head or analyzing, what I sense every time I receive the symbols is an embodiment of a completely deep energy like peace. And when I go into meditation, the beings, the sea people, the mer people, the spirits of the sea, like the whales and the dolphins, they show me essentially what is in it and what it's gifting us. And so, yeah, it has 3 levels in it. And for a lot of the people who are drawn to the water rose, I do see they have 4 water archetypes in the directions. So, normally in a shamanic wheel, you'll get, say, bird for air, say, you'll get maybe a jaguar for the west, maybe a water being for the south, and, these different archetypes. But some of the people who are called to carry this have 4 water archetypes in all the directions. And very much I'm being shown. So the whole essence of this energy is about me getting out of the way, allowing these higher ascended, incredible teachers from the sea through me to serve. That's essentially what it's about. And the messages I've been getting where, one day I went to the sea and they were like, people of the sea, it's time for you to rise. Like these people that carry these Atlantean, Lemurian water. I'm calling it water rose energy, but it's like this highly ascended water, these memories that come in through their heart. It's going to activate those. It's going to help speed up their ascension and help them actually embody why they're here. That's the message I'm getting from it without trying to limit it, because I feel like it's very deep, as the water is very deep, very sacred. And of course, the water element is the oldest. It's the one that has been, we all come from the water element. So there will be an aspect of everybody that has this sacred rose energy and this watery energy within them.
I'm just listening to what you're saying there and just connecting on it in such an emotional level, actually. Melanie, you're also water rose priestess and medicine woman. The sea itself, I keep getting that the sea itself is sentient, and people talk about the sea calling them in deeper. Presumably this is the sea and not the water beings that's calling people in, sort of they feel attracted to the sea and it doesn't end well. So well, what are your thoughts there? Because we had some interesting conversations with Bob Osborne last week with regards to his thoughts of the sea. He said that there's some sort of a draw there, that actually the sea is calling for soul. What are your thoughts?
Okay, really good question. So essentially, to me, the sea is like us. There is a beautiful essence of sacred Holy Sophia, cosmic mother, sacred womb energy that can move through the sea at a very high and collected level. But then there's also different water bodies have different energies. And to me, the sea beings are one with that water element. But on saying that, some of it needs healing. Some of it has been damaged by what we've done to it. So, for example, when we're doing collective work, to heal the sea, sometimes I'll see a water being that's got damaged, or its tail is, say, caught up in a net and it needs freed, or there'll be a lower vibration. The work of Randy Hatton with the Global Water Group does amazing work to heal and raise the vibration of the water. And this is one of the messages from the Mer people about raising the vibration of the water within us, going back to our healthy state, and also, Masaru Emoto's work, sending love into the water, being aware of your thoughts around water, putting your hand into it, thanking it. There's been days when I've actually been physically pulled to the sea, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's like the pull is so, so strong. And I see that in surfers. I see it in people who just come along with the joy. They have this joy and they need her. And that joy emanates from them into the sea just when they're doing their thing. And it doesn't even matter if they're not aware of it, because I feel they're blessing her and she's blessing them. There's a beautiful interaction that happens. To me, the sea has a very, very strong presence. And when I did the Kosa water beads, that was also where I got this very sacred oneness feeling, where I realized that we were connected all the time, but we get separated from it because of our history of disconnect, because of our history of all the pain of the ancestors, of the conditioning. So, absolutely, I feel you're right. It is a sentient being, and there are souls that, in particular, come through the sea. So, when your soul is coming to Earth, sometimes there are souls that come through the Mer people to come in. Some of them come through the fairy realm to come in. Some of them come through the salamanders, the fire, the sun, and come straight here. Some of them have stopped down planets. So I know me and my son came through the sea. We came through the sea to come here. And one day I'd gone out running at lunchtime and I'd done an exercise. And on my way back, this is in the Azores here in San Miguel, I saw this man. He'd collapsed. He was relatively young. They were trying to resuscitate him. And so I just stopped and I said a prayer, please, beloved ones, higher ascended beings, please immediately go and help this man. But what I saw was the sea beings come to take him home. And I knew then that he was not coming back. They'd come to take him back to his realm, back to his. So all I ask is that the beings, because not the whole water is not yet ascended. The Mother Earth is already in the 7th dimension, not the 5th, the 7th. She's already ascending. And we're being asked to do that as well, bringing in higher and higher dimensions and grounding them right into our physical body, our water element, which holds our emotions, which connects us back to the Holy Mother. So to me, the original separation and the original pain in the heart is that separation with the Holy Sophia. It's the original split of humanity. And this is where I feel the water rose is able to go to that depth to push us through our deepest pain when we come back into wholeness. And it's a very beautiful thing. And many of the spirits will come in spiritual form as well, like the whales and dolphins to me come more in dream time. I think also when I'm out at sea I get so ecstatic and so joyful and probably a bit disconnected because I'm like, yay, and the excitement, and then I'm not really, I'm just being me, being human. But it's when I'm stillness, that's when of course I can get the transmissions. And when I'm under the water in the crystalline seawater and I'm still, that's when they start to move me, and they actually become the water, and they dance through me and I dance under the water. And then I send love and celebrate the water. And anybody can do that. I would encourage anybody that loves the sea, just slow down a little bit, connect with your heart, feel your joy. The Mer people really come through joy, and they're helping with our ascension. And that's essentially a large part of it.
That's enormous. That is enormous. Literally, you took me to a completely different level there, Melanie. I was sort of thinking that coming from like an island, that there's something about, the people of Ireland, that they all want to have that connection to the sea. They want to be seeing the sea, or they want to see the sea at least once a week, because it's just for their mental health. So, which is kind of interesting. Even the likes of people that are kind of attuned, even though they're inland, they'll know whenever the sea, where the tide is in or the tide is out, because they're just connected energetically. But I mean, you're taking things to a whole different level with regards to the sea. You're very connected to the spirit of the sea, of the aquatic life and water beings. I'd love to know what, if any, liminal species you have connected with, and which were visible to you in a physical form.
Yeah, so during my journey with the sea, I've always felt joy from dolphins, and I feel many, many people do. And the same with whales, but whales also have this depth and very old wisdom to them that they bring just by being in their presence. And so definitely the dolphins and whales have come to me in dream time to also show us what we're doing. The manta rays too, they have come like with wisdom. For example, one day I was shown that the mantas hold some of the womb codes. They have this sacred geometry, of course, the 5 points, the 5 goddess archetypes, the womb codes. The octopus. The octopus to me is so dear to my heart because I've been connecting with one every day. I was in this morning in the sea, just spinning in the water, reaching my hand out as this little octopus would reach its arm out and touch me on the hand. Now, to me, the octopus is a master. So the octopus has 3 hearts, and we are coming back into our threefold flame. So the love, the wisdom, and the power, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, and the child. And the octopus already has 3 hearts in one body. It's already mastered that. It also has 9, essentially 8 mini brains and another brain. So it has 9 brains. And it's a fully feeling, fully embodied being, absolutely feeling. You watch its arms, they curl, the way they move with grace and flow, and it's like the water, the breath is totally at one with it, the elements. To me, also 9 is the number of mastery. So it's mastered its mind. Its mind is spread outwards and its heart's in the center. So if you call on octopus spirit to help you to bring your threefold flame, your sacred union also within yourself, and to rebalance yourself. So that's also what's happening on the planet with, I feel, another depth to the water rose. It's bringing this sacred union within the self, this complete balance of masculine and feminine, and addressing the shadow aspect, these aspects of ourself, to come back into the one heart. And then I had an experience as well with a turtle, where this turtle was very, very close to me, like no longer than the length of my arm. And I remember not being very well. It was when I was a dive guide in Madagascar, and I remember I'd been quite ill, and the turtle was able to cut through everything and completely and utterly shift my state in that moment to a higher consciousness. And I knew it was a transmission being given to me. I had an experience with a little whale shark that came up, was eating my fins. And again, I was just swimming gently away, and this little baby whale shark, which was about the length of a car, and its mouth was probably, about 2 steering wheels. So, and of course, they don't have any teeth, they're not dangerous. But it was coming up just going, oh, what are you? Wow, this was off Ningaloo Reef. And I've had experiences with corals. So when I worked in the Great Barrier Reef and I was hanging over a really, really healthy reef, I could feel this energy coming up into my body, and the corals to me also go right into the cells. To me, they have like little jewels that come, the transmissions go right into the cells. The way the polyps are is like a cellular being. There's even one that looks like a brain. The corals have a way to, I feel, get right to the depth of a cellular being. And again, it was a presence of complete ecstatic joy, elevated ascension lights that I felt. And that was when I wasn't really connected. It was so strong. It was that strong I couldn't avoid it. So yeah, there's been many things. And shells. I remember once picking up a shell, and this was in Ireland, in Era, and I picked up this shell, and this was before I'd gone through my spiritual wake up. And I picked up the shell and I started to cry, and I was like, oh, the shell is sad. And I was like, oh no, the shell isn't sad. It's showing me the sadness in me. Thank you, beloved shell. This pain of separation from the one source within myself. And so I began to cry. And I cried and cried like my soul released with that shell. And it was like some of these beings have this ability to go deep into our souls. So if the people listening have a shell or things at home that were taken from the water, go up to them, hold them in your hand, and say the Ho'oponopono and say, we're sorry, we thank you, we love you, please forgive us, we forgive you. We release you, we call your beautiful spirit back into being, and we send you to your proper place in the universe. And do that 3 times, and then ask them, is there medicine you have for me? Is there soul medicine that I am allowed to feel, that I can help myself to help humanity? How can I serve you, beloved sea? How can I serve you, beautiful being that's come into my home? Maybe you've come into my home for a reason. Are you here to help me to deepen? And just talk to it from your heart and allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to fully come into your body, which is another huge lesson the sea and its beings have. They're talking about full embodiment right into your being. Embrace your humanness, forgive yourself, do your best, and allow the joy to come through you. Lighten things up. There's a lot of these beautiful messages that are coming in that with flow, which is the water again, flow into the rose of the heart, the water, the love.
When you talk about sea beings, are you meaning fairy or elementals?
Yes, so when I talk about sea beings, I'm talking about all the beings in the sea. So every life form that has a physical form in the sea is a being. It has a physical form, but it also has a spirit. So the mer people might not have a physical form, even though I do feel that there are many mer people walking about as humans. But when you look at their spirit, so many of the people, when I look at their spirit and I'm doing sea work, I see them turn into mermaids. They totally form a watery tail. They turn into mermaids and mermen. And so, absolutely, the sea beings I use in a very wide term to mean the elementals, the elemental beings, to mean the spirits of the sea and their physical form. And of course, the sea, like Neptune and Lunara, are like the overseers of the sea. Fand is like an overseer of the water in Ireland, Macnan and Maclear in the Irish Sea. So to me also there's always a feminine and a masculine counterpart now. It's totally balanced, even though the sea always has been a female. There is Neptune always appears as a male, and he initiates people with the trident. And again, if we talk a little bit about the misuse of the feminine, the misuse of the sea, sometimes the trident's been taken and misused as like a bad symbol. It's actually a really, really powerful sacred symbol. I got given an initiation with the trident by Neptune, and it has a great, great power that I feel connects with the lightning beings in it. And of course, the sea. This whole journey with the water rose has taken me on a journey to reclaim my womb power, to reclaim the sea within myself, which is the womb, the water element, and bring it back into love and ascension. So I have to, it's like those elements of self that have been suppressed, that have been tried to be tainted by patriarchy, are no longer ruled by that. And like the sacred womb power is coming back. And thanks to Leola and Tara from the Tantric Rose Mystery School, she talks about the threefold flame, which of course we know is in the heart, the love, the wisdom, and the power, but the embodiment of it happens in a vertical way. So the wisdom, like the white rose in the head, the pink rose in the heart, and the red rose, the power in the womb. And that is aligning and coming back into the heart, which also is like where the water rose comes in to kind of flow between all these sacred parts of the body.
Do you think that they have any wisdom that they'd like to share with us? And what can we do for them? Just whenever we're discussing wisdom from the likes of the merfolk and the water beings, I'd also like to maybe include the likes of the Sasquatch, we were having discussions there that there was Sasquatch in Ireland, and I think they also have something that they would like to sort of share with us. The fact that they're sort of coming up and people are having conversations about them now.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I know there are Sasquatch here on the island because I saw them, in the northwest region. I haven't done a quest there. I've only done one quest. They're definitely here. And to be honest, that's not I haven't connected with them enough to be able to give any advice or to be able to say I feel they're very old and very wise, very sacred beings. With regards to the mer people talk to me when they need to and when they need to teach me something. So to me, their message is primarily about ascension, about helping us remember who we really are. And so how we can help them is, pick up litter, be aware of the products you're using into the water. Don't overuse really toxic chemicals in you or in the water. Bless it, the violet flame, put your hands in the water and bless it. Maybe make a little offering of biodegradable things just to thank the water, and be aware of your thoughts around the water, your thoughts in yourself. Think positive, breathe, and allow yourself to feel. So if you're going through stuff, really don't push it away. Allow yourself to feel and ask what you believe in, like the God, Goddess, one source, whatever way you want to call on it. Ask them to come in and help you. And remember, water, of course, is a world of sound. So those of you who are on the spiritual path, if you want to go, especially at dawn and dusk, because they love to come out at dawn and dusk, to sing them a song. Sing them a song from your heart. Sit and sing, because they are bringing these sacred sounds back in. And again, they just start to come through you. A lot of this soul medicine is so simple, and it's so much in the here and now, and it doesn't need analysis. It's beautiful, and you don't need to try. It just comes. The more you come into your heart, the more you get out of the way. It just comes. And yeah, they're really, really smart, and I feel really honored to be connected with them. They give me a sense of pure home. The water is pure home to me. It's heaven. And yeah, I love to share it. I love to help people get over their fear. If they're fearful of going into the water, I love to help them. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on today.
It's my absolute pleasure, Melanie. You're just a great beacon sort of in these times, and you really are sort of connected with sort of what's going on. I think for the likes of myself, it's connecting with you because you have that connection, and it's just learning from that, because I've been hearing about people talking about you call the mermaids in using light codes and light language, and it's not something that I'm familiar with. And so I have to, I go to the likes of you to make sense for it for me.
Thanks, Josie. Also to say, yeah, about the light codes.
Yeah.
I find they come in, so that's really interesting. So I don't call them in with light codes. They gift us the light codes for our ascension. Yeah, so the light codes come in. I also feel when you are in water and you go into an expanded state, you become one with the water, and the water, especially crystalline, healthy water, can gift you these higher ascended Christ codes that come in. They can come in meditation. They can come in forms by being next to an animal that's willing to gift you these, by being open, different codes and keys of memory that are helping to ascend us and wake us up.
Melanie, where could we read more about this and learn more about sort of that level of connection and also the ascension process? I mean, where are good places of contact for us to look into to learn more?
So I'm actually writing down everything I get. So do sign up at the bottom of waterrosepriestess.com, and you will hear, more about the connection with the sea. You'll hear about when I'm doing the meditations. You'll hear about when these events with the light codes are running to join in. Neptune has told me to just at the minute concentrate on the Water Rose course and get it finished. So that's what I'm doing at the minute. So, which has all that sort of stuff in it. Yeah, exciting.
Uh, lovely. I've signed up for it already. So
Oh,
look, that's lovely.
lovely.
Yeah. What about the stone in Glastonbury,
Oh
the
yes,
oracle?
because that was where the one of the strongest messages came in. So the Oracle Stone is in Glastonbury Abbey. It's on the Mary line, and in order to receive the transmissions, you have to be in your moon time. And it was so perfect timing because I was, and I felt very strongly. I was like, I have to offer my blood and sit on this stone. So that's what I did, and then immediately it was Mary Magdalene who came up to me and she said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yes, I feel as ready as I'm ever going to feel." And they were like, the water rose and basically gave me a message to put it out there that they were supporting me and that it was time. And of course, initially when you're bringing in something so new, I was like, oh gosh, and then your fear comes up and then you're like, okay, breathe, it's them through me. Just get out of the way. Do what the messages I'm getting clearly, that repeat and repeat. kind of. Yeah, so it's a very strong and very beautiful stone on the Mary line.
I'll just throw this up in the air. I
Hmm.
was having great conversations with Miles Johnson about portals in around the south, in the Oma kind of area. It's South Tyrone, and and he was talking about a ferry portal out beside a place called Aucher. And I said, well, if you look at the work of Michael Desarian, he was able to identify that archaeologists had found that there was a burial of King Menes. He was king of the Pharaohs, and he was buried in Aucher in County Tyrone. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So now it was Professor Waddell had done that excavation work, and it's quite a spectacular kind of a site. But of course, it's never really talked about. There's legend about whenever he came into Lough Foyle. A hornet came onto his boat and stung him, and he actually died before he touched. When he was returning back to his home place, Ireland, that he died before he set foot onto it. But he was buried there. So, but King Menes, he has a tomb in Valley of the Kings, but he's not in it because he's buried in Aucher, but in County Tyrone. But his name went on to become the word menstruation, because whenever he was working with the pyramids, he built underwater rivers underneath the pyramids, and that was meant to be connected to menstruation. So he actually gave the term menstruation from his name.
Gosh,
Isn't
how
that
interesting. Yeah, fascinating. And also about the portals. There are portals under the sea that have been shown to me by the mer people. And also, they come to us sometimes to ask for help when we're doing sea work, mainly with people that are cold, like people who are open to spirit, that journey, that are already at the stage that they understand they're a spirit here in a human body and that they're able to serve. We often do work to heal some of these portals and underwater sacred sites, sacred pyramids, and sacred sites that are important for the sea.
You also mentioned that the whales were looking for help. What are they looking for help with at the moment, Melanie?
So yes, I had a dream about whales, and I had a dream about them killing whales. This was a while ago. The more recent one was mantas. They were in the dream. They were killing the mantas, and to me, the mantas are connected with the womb codes, the feminine. So there's still a bit of a battle going on. I feel, with this old patriarchal energy that's trying to hold on, that's not for the highest good, for the sacred woman power. And when I say the woman power, I mean the sacred feminine in men and women. I mean this with total balance. I absolutely never mean that one is better than the other, because they're absolutely not. We're both different, but we have the same essence, in that when we go right down to the original, we are one. We are love at our deepest level. And they come in dreams to do journey work to help them, to sometimes do soul retrieval for a species, or to sometimes, clean an area of sea, or to, yeah, they can ask for many things in the dreams, to clean the plastic, or to kind of work on a spiritual level to do that on a spiritual level, to clean it so that, then it'll help the people, as I did for many years, to work on a more physical level. I was working on a physical level and I wasn't really connecting to spirit because I didn't know how way back then. For 20 years, I was just trying to convince people to care in marine biology. And I feel then when things began to change, I really saw that those people that are stuck, really spirit knows best. And the best way to change is to go deep into spirit and change it there first, because then it trickles down into the physical. I feel that people try and they can try to change things on a physical level, which of course helps. But if there's something stuck in your spirit or your soul that's not cleaned or that needs to be done, it's the pattern's going to keep repeating until that's removed.
It's very helpful. I think we'll all have to hold that thought, sort of that's something that we all need to be working on, sort of I think to move forward. I mean, you're on the right track with regards to move it forward to ascension, because really that's really all we can be doing at this time. So, but it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll have you on again. The Water Rose website and work just looks absolutely superb, but I think that there is a calling. We've been having our own conversations about the mermaids over the last year or so. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel it fairly strongly. Even the likes of listening to the likes of Jean Decode, and even they're sort of saying that the mermaids are really, really trying to mind us, sort of, and they're not having an easy time either. So it's just, I think personally, it's just like, well, how can we give back? How can we give thanks? So no, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Melanie, for joining us today. Thank you very much, Melanie. Enjoy your day in the Azores. It just sounds absolutely gorgeous. A lot warmer than Ireland at the moment. So, but you'll be back shortly anyway. So thank you very much, Melanie.
Thank you so much for having me on, love. Lots of love and watery, salty blessings to everybody listening.